warrior bodies. I'm glad we both think that's funny.
We're so dumb.
Anyway, guys, welcome back to our final series of the day. It's going to be one more PvZ. Much love to all of you guys that have been sticking around. We are going to see Scarlet in action one more time. And she is going to go up against this handsome young man on the right top side of the map. His nickname is Tassadar.
Yep.
And Toro Tassadar.
Down in the bottom left. Somebody that probably hates Protoss right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's her overlord. And that's her base. And it's Scarlet. Just had her Toronto hopes and her BlizzCon hopes dashed by the Soul Train. No, not party.
About crazier builds from Maxed as well. I am still surprised and a little bit, you know, how can I describe my feelings right now? It's not necessarily that I'm sad, but I'm just very overwhelmed by the way that today went, because I just can't really fathom what actually happened. I just did not expect the games to end the way that they did. I felt that Scarlet was so rock solid right now against Protoss that it didn't even cross my mind that she was going to lose 2 series against Protoss players. That she would have lost maybe 1 series by Cheese and then the other series against Nesty, you know, in a crazy Z series. Yeah, that was one of the scenarios that crossed my mind. But I did not expect her to just lose the way she did. And yeah, she lost against all-ins and stuff, but also not, I mean, when it happens 4 times in a row, it's not what I expected at all. I expected a very different outcome of the games, and
so
I'm caught by surprise.
Tassadar right now just doing his best to annoy Scarlet, delaying her hatchery as much as he can. He's doing a good job of it.
We've seen Tassadar a few times already in PvPs, but I haven't had the pleasure of casting him in a PvZ yet. At least not for a little while. I actually think that the Challenger League were the first games I ever casted of Tassadar, as he's never been to any of the IEM events, or the DreamHack I was, or you know, the Home Story Cups. None of that.
Well, given that he's named Tassadar, I bet his storms are really good.
A few times, I think. I mean, he's been a very active player in the GTSL, in the team leagues. He definitely had his deep run once in GSL Code A, when he lost in the final against Puzzle, if I'm not mistaken, 4-2. But that's a very long time ago. That was when GSL Code A was still an actual tournament instead of just the up and downs. I actually kind of like that. I know it was kind of weird, but I don't know. I just really like tournaments. And up and downs are just at the end of the day up and down. I think it's cool to win stuff, and you can always crown a champion. You're not going to remember like 24 players that won up and downs, but you will remember that one guy that won GSL Code A.
We'll never forget Fruit Dealer.
I mean, Marine King won a Code A, right?
I don't remember.
Puzzle definitely won, and Tassadar was the runner-up. Unless I have all my Korean Protosses confused right now.
I don't know, to me Code A was always, I don't know, just not that big of a deal.
I think it's a very big deal. It's a great way to see.
It's an amazing achievement, but it's just not the same as winning Code S.
No, of course not. But it's still like it's a great way to find up-and-coming players. It's kind of like watching the IEM qualifiers.
I completely agree with that.
Of course, it's not the same level of prestige, but I thought it was cool. Either way, taking a look at the build. Sorry, guys, it's been a very long day for us. I was just daydreaming a little bit. We see that there is a proxy pylon going up on the other side of the map. Tassadar perhaps has been watching the games today. And Scarlet is completely unaware of this ban. She delays her guesses a little bit as well. She has a little ling over here, but this is not a speedling, and she's still droning up. She's going to have to deal with a lot of zealots soon. And I'm afraid that there's almost no way that Scarlet is going to be able to defend this. She's making spine crawlers right now, but this might just be a little too late already.
6 lings, a single spine coming. But
she does have 3 queens, that's something. Maybe with exceptional micro, which we know she has, but I'm afraid she just doesn't have the DPS.
Spine's going to be cancelled. Lings are coming out. Time Warp is not that good.
No, that's kind of useless Time Warp. A lot of lings are on the way. So far, all of the queens are still alive as well. Beautiful micro so far by Scarlet.
Very, very well controlled. Trying to get enough energy to transfuse, but man, these zealots are doing some serious work, and more zealots being warped in and making their way into the natural.
That queen won his little fight. Now the Mothership Core is going to try to pick him up. Look at this micro from Scarlet. Both of the queens. Oh, and like 0.1 second later, that queen would have had transfuse. That could have been the difference, because a full HP queen can deal with his Mothership Core, and then the zealots could have just cleaned up these zealots.
No.
Scarlet is still alive though, but losing the 3 queens. That's a very big blow.
Yeah, Mothership Core now can pick away at these drones. More Zealots going to walk into the natural. Scarlet might just walk, or I'm sorry, Tassadar might just walk up into the main base. And that is going to be annoying as well. 4 Zealots joining up.
There's a robo going up behind this right now for Tassadar on his side of the map. Double Evil just finishing up, but Scarlet is not really in a position to worry about upgrades as we speak, as he still has to worry about these Zealots that are in the main base. He does still have a single queen. He has a new queen as well that just now spawned in the natural. So that is something. And he has a spine crawler too to fall back on.
Scarlet's still controlling this well, being very meticulous with her units. Doesn't want to lose anything carelessly.
But she's down 11 workers.
Yeah, the damage has definitely been dealt. Tassadar putting himself in a great position.
He can even recall if he really wants to. He has enough energy for that.
Probably what we're going to see. And later.
Doesn't lose a single unit out of those 4 as well. Perfect attack by Tassadar, and once more Scarlet caught off guard. Caught by surprise.
Once more Immortals being produced.
She's so close to seeing this pylon, but she hasn't seen it yet.
1 probe being built. Is that going to stop us at 44?
Yep, most likely. I mean, Tassadar can go up to 3 bases as well, wouldn't be anything wrong with that, but I think if he would just strike again soon, he would force Scarlet to make more units while she's already on such a low economy. It would just be a very unpleasant situation to be in as a Zerg player.
Yeah, completely agreed, although I don't think this is a map that is very easy to force field, so these kinds of attacks aren't often as successful.
That's true, but when you're this far ahead economically, even though the worker count is even, army-wise shows us it's 30 against 15. There's a lot of sentries in the mix. These Immortals are going to hit hard. Maybe CS gas for a Hydra list then and get a couple of Hydras out, but we all know that Hydras are not as scary as they can be without speed and without groove spines. Also, she doesn't have Hydra upgrades at all.
One's going to be done. I'm not convinced. I think Scarlet might be able to hold this. Tassadar is going to go ahead and go for it. Zealot, Sentry, Immortals, 2 Immortals, and a Warp Prism.
Scarlet thought about taking a third base. I mean, if he just sits on 2 bases and drops the infestation pit and gets a couple of infestors out in the long run, with all these spines, he should be able to hold. Maybe she's getting. What do you think? It's going to be a spire or an infestation pit? Losing a lot of links over here.
Move command. That is very painful.
She is finding these spines though, so that's going to slow Tassadar down just a tiny bit.
Oh, this is going to be tough, Kev. This many spine crawlers is very hard to break, certainly when there are also +1 lings. Or I should say 1/1 lings.
Infestation pit is going to be the choice of Scarlet. She has shown us absolutely fantastic holds in her game against Crank in the round of 32 of Premier League. But that was a different opening, but
Lings are going to come out and try to deal with these Zealots, but man, there's so much, wow, so many spines. This isn't going to work, man.
I think Tassadar is underrating the amount of spine crawlers over here. Even though most of the Zealots did deal with all these Zerglings, but Transfuse still going down. All these spines are still alive. And Scarlet holds like a boss.
The Lings are gone, though, so now maybe we're going to see Tassadar start shuttling things up to the high ground. That could change things a bit.
Yeah, but that's also risky because there are still a lot of Lings on the way. Pathogen glances being researched.
Yeah, that's a good hold from Scarlet.
Where's that 47 army supply that we actually see on the map? I feel like I'm watching 20. We have a Mothership Core, Warp Prism, a lot of Zealots, a couple of units at home.
It's just a ton of Zealots,
Tech even going down for
2 base
Scarlet.
high? So she's just going to go straight up to Ultra?
Yeah. Still making spine crawlers, worried about the next time. And she's cutting out, forcing a defensive warp in. Now at least he knows that she's safe. I'm not sure if she saw that though. Maybe she's going to see it right now. Scarlet. Nope.
Either way, Tassadar is heading back home, so he's given up on the aggression. Warp Prism, however, is still a factor.
Bunch of happy links. What I want to say is that Fungal Grove is going to be extremely effective against this army. Even when Blink is ready, Fungal Grove can still be very good. And if these Zerglings have... what just happened?
I don't know.
Game speed just changed too fast. I have no idea how that happened.
I didn't know that could change.
Me neither. It's nice to know we never have to re-host again if the game speed is wrong. It would be nice if we could have an admin looking at this, because I have absolutely no idea what just happened. I think the referee has to control it. I don't think we are the referee, right? I suppose. Well, apparently we can.
Cool.
I don't think this is a function that really needs to be in our user interface, but it's nice to... It's nice to know that we have this power. We have a little bit of an immortal drop going down in the back of the Scarlet space.
Yep, and it's
Queens
gonna be
will be able to pick off this Warp Prism, so that's kind of a good pickup.
Well.
How many drones did she lose? Not all that many, not more than she lost before. She lost 11 if I recall that correctly. So 12 now means just one additional drone. She's gonna go for a second robotic, Tassadar is gonna go for his second robotic facility and a Robo Bay. I'm starting to believe.
Yeah, me too. I think Scarlet has stabilized, and Tassadar is gonna have to figure something out.
It's still hard to make a lot of ultras from
Yeah.
2 bases. Scarlet's economy is still not fantastic, but you know, it's...
Tassadar's isn't either. And I think
oh, oh no!
that would be bad.
I think it was you who changed the game speed. I think you were leaning on your keyboard.
I guess it's possible.
It wasn't me. I promise. Scarlett's still being so active with her links. This is actually what I love about her playstyle. I'm so sad, man, that we didn't really get to see Scarlet her ZVP today. That's the way that I feel. I feel like the Protoss players kind of just dictated the pace of the game with their builds. Either max, like we saw the little bit where Scarlet wanted to go on Derelict, but the game ended before she had the real infestors out on the map. She's sacrificing a lot of links over here. I don't think she's gonna get this Nexus. There's a lot of DPS, but she will get a run by. Now that's something.
Yes, sir. An Immortal popping out at the wrong time. He's not going to get targeted down. Ling's in the main base. Ling's in the natural. This is definitely something Scarlet needs to get back in this thing.
This is gonna buy her quite a bit of time. She might not be able to kill a whole lot of pros. At least that's what I thought. Look at these links doing work, man. There's a cannon, there are a few weapons. They still manage to be able to kill more workers than Tassadar has killed throughout the entire game.
13 probes killed. Not only that, Scarlet's bought herself time to get 3 ultras out.
And yeah, there are 2 immortals in this mix. Dark Shrine going down right now. There's no Templar Archives, correct? No,
I haven't seen one.
It's a shame about that 1 or 2 misread infestors. But yeah, what I want to say, in none of the 4 games we truly see how Scarlet loves to play ZVP. And yeah, that is kind of sad. Of course, you know, all the props to the Protoss players who prevented that from happening, because C is so scary when she gets in that phase.
There's that Templar Archives cab. Just now starting up, so there will be Templar tech available soon for Tassadar. You might want to have some feedbacks for these queens, which will make these ultras incredibly hard to kill.
Scarlet taking care of this pylon as well, which was part of an earlier push. A couple of settlers were wiped in here. I think she saw them back then, but she realized she wasn't able to deal with that pylon. But I'm starting to believe. I think Scarlet's army is very good. Her upgrades are pretty good as well. She's on 2-2. 3-3 is on the way and even about to finish up against Tassadar's 2-0. Man, that's not really let this game slip away.
It's crazy how close this has gotten. So,
I mean, you could say it's sort of even, but I'm starting to believe more. Scarlet is incredibly good in these kind of engagements. When she has infestors, when she has queens as well, it just gets crazy. And also these infestors, when you don't see the purple bar, it is scary, guys, because that means they're maxed out on energy.
Full energy on those infestors. Tassadar not really willing to get out on the map right now, and for good reason. He has not had much luck the last several times he's been out there.
The infestors are scary, man.
They're kind of gross.
What do you do if you find one in your room?
Oh, dude, that would be awful.
Would you step on it?
Dude, these things are bigger than we are. They're like the size of an Ultralisk. Are you kidding me?
No, they're not the size of Ultra.
Look at them next to an Ultra. Okay, not the size of an Ultra, but they're close. If an Ultralisk is a dump truck, an Infestor is a minivan. Unfortunately
for Scarlet, she doesn't have any detection over here. She does see these Dark Templars immediately morphing an Overseer. There is a Prism over here as well. She catches the Warp Prism.
Catch! Oh no!
She misses it, but still, at least she prevented a situation where there are 4 Dark Templars in her main and a couple of in the natural, and she has to defend on 3 locations at once. You know, this was quite an investment for Tassadar, and he didn't really get anything out of it. Wait, other than this guy, he killed 6 drones. This was the ambitious Dark Templar. That definitely got some work done.
Raider Spire now on the way for Scarlet. She's going to go on up to Broodlords.
Scarlet is definitely taking her time in the last series of the day. She wants to crush the Protoss army.
I think this might be the time when she's most vulnerable, Kev. It's 183 Protoss supply against 160 Zerg supply, and Scarlet's pretty broke, so...
These 6 Ultras would just immediately melt against all this firepower of the Protoss. Is this +3 army? Yes, it is +3. I agree with you, but, you know, all these queens and all these infestors are here to buy time. Scarlet, I hope you're watching. She is watching. A couple of stocks are like,
Ambitious Stalkers.
Should we go for it, guys?
Another Zergling run by Kev. Up into the main base. Go a bunch of
As long as they buy
speedlings.
time for Scarlet, that's all he needs. And I think that Tassadar is starting to figure out what's going on. He should just wipe in 2 Dark Templars and he should be okay. He's marching on creep, but he also knows he has to take his time because a bad engagement could end it all. There are Corruptors to deal with the Colossus. But I think she would rather have...
be close, Kev. Spine Crawlers are so good. Scarlet's preemptively throwing down some infested Terrans because she does not want to fight right now.
Big warping in the main as well with his Warp Prism that got away. The Warp Prism that got away was a painful one.
Yes, sir. Ling's still
Tassadar
alive.
just
Oh,
refuses
Dark
to
Shrine
warp in.
falling would be a big deal, and it is going to go down. Here comes Tassadar. He's going to force the fight. Immortals, Archons, Colossi. Oh my. Ultra's dying very quickly, but the... Whoa, whoa, whoa. But there are so many of them, and they get up underneath the Colossus. The Colossi are going to fall.
So many
Scarlet
transfusions
just
being
crushed
casted.
this attack, not even close.
This Ultralisk had a very, very expensive healthcare program, Ben. Because I don't know how he survived all that firepower, but he did stay alive. So many transfusions
Don't
going
let
down.
him die. Oh,
No, that was the other one. This one was the one, the Slayer. He survived everything. Meanwhile, in the main base, though, the Zealots are dealing a crazy amount of damage. The Warp Prism is still alive as well. And Tassadar is pretty damn rich. Scarlet has been on 3 bases for a long time. She does have her 4th base. But above all, the next fight, Ben, she is going to have Broodlords. And there is nothing really in the army of Tassadar as good against Broodlords as we speak. But if the Stalker count grows out of control, then, you know, Stalkers can deal with Broodlords if there is nothing too scary below them. But most of the time, that's not the case.
More Stalkers being warped in, Immortals also being built. It's just Ultras and more Corruptors and Broods on the way for Scarlet. So a close game, but it's definitely starting to tip in favor of Scarlet. She's picked up a lot of momentum, especially with that last big win.
It was very sloppy by Tassadar that he lost the Dark Shrine in his main. While he could have just wiped in Dark Templars. There was no detection over here for Scarlet. But I guess it just wasn't his priority. He was, you know, thinking I can win the game right here and right now with my army. But a couple of really good fungals and even better transfusions kept most of the units for Scarlet alive and, you know, allowed them to sit right on top of that Protoss army. And that's when you know your Ultras are going to have the time of their life.
Yep.
They were happy little puppies.
Scarlet's doing it all very well, Kev. She's up to about 160 supply. Tassadar at just 120. And only warping in Stalkers.
And when a Zerg has an army supply lead, that's often a bad sign. Even though most of the time, unless it's like Lings and Roaches, then it's okay. But in this phase of the game, when it's lost Immortal,
You are far from home, buddy.
happens to the best of us. Then again, this wasn't really his war to fight. He could help out against the Ultras, but against all the Infestors and Broodlords. Well, there are 6 Ultras, so it was actually a precious loss. And when Protoss starts wiping in Zealots, then you also know that Protoss doesn't have the economy they want. You might think like, Zealots are still sort of okay now. Zealots are really bad. Ever since the Ultralisk changed, Ultras are pretty fantastic against Zealots. Fungal Growth and Ultralisk creates a nightmare scenario for Zealots.
Yep.
The old Zealots used to be so good. Oh well.
The old Ultras used to be so bad, you mean?
Yeah, I guess.
More prisoners way over to the main base of Scarlet, but it ain't gonna happen. Corruptors are all over it.
Corruption being casted as well, making sure that this prism goes down even quicker than it should. Nope. No weapons for you today. I love that we're getting like a 30-minute PvZ at the end of a 7 best-of-3 broadcast. But you know, it's fun. It's cool to see Scarlet fighting from so far behind and still being able to turn this into a game, displaying that she still has some of that greatness that we've seen multiple times of her in this particularly matchup, as we know that she is a great player, and losing today definitely
got a
doesn't
lot of
affect
money,
that.
and she is near maxed, and that Zerg army is not something that looks very easy to deal with. Tassadar.
Only 1 Infestor remaining though. I must say, like, for the fact that she's almost maxed, if you look at the unit tab, 6 Ultra, 6 Broodlords, and there are 57 Zerglings as well. Big run by again over here in the 3rd base. This Nexus already took a lot of damage from
it might
previous
actually fall.
run
His
by.
Lings have great upgrades. I think the Nexus
Oh my
is
God.
dead. Wow, it went down fast.
That went down so quick.
Those Lings must have adrenal glands.
Yeah, they do. They have everything, man. They got... we might actually see Tassadar just like go for it right now, Ben. The Observer falls. This might be his moment. Queens are off creep. All the Queens are quite exposed. Why no feedbacks?
Archon's out in front. Can they absorb? Whoa, Stalkers. That's a crazy blink. You're going to get surrounded by Ultras and chewed to pieces, and that is not a winning proposition. That's the fastest I've ever seen a Protoss army die.